Eleanor, a woman whose spirit still hummed with the vibrant energy of her youth, despite the silver threads weaving through her short, practical bob, found herself increasingly at odds with her own body. Each morning, descending the 13 steps from her bedroom to the kitchen, a familiar tightness would seize her chest, a shallow gasp catching in her throat by the time her sensible slippers met the cool tiles. "Just age, darling," she'd murmur to the empty house, waving a dismissive hand as if shooing away a persistent fly. It was a mantra she'd adopted, a convenient shield against the growing frustration that pricked at her composure. Washing the dishes, tending to her small potted herbs, even reaching for a book on the higher shelf. All simple acts that now demanded a conscious effort, a pause to regulate her breath. She'd always been a doer, a woman who moved with purpose, but lately, purpose felt like a heavy cloak she dragged behind her. She'd started taking the lift at the local supermarket, even for just one floor, telling herself it was for convenience, not necessity. Yet, the memory of bounding up those stairs, 2 at a time, felt like a ghost limb, a phantom vitality she secretly mourned. One Tuesday, at the bustling farmer's market, she bent to examine a particularly plump aubergine. When she straightened, a sudden dizzy spell washed over her, the vibrant colours of the stalls blurring into a watercolour smudge. She clutched her wicker basket, leaning heavily against a stall post, acutely aware of the curious glance from a young woman nearby. A blush crept up Eleanor's neck. "Just a bit warm today," she mumbled, more to herself than anyone else, feeling a profound sense of embarrassment. It was then that a cheerful voice cut through her self-pity. "Eleanor! Goodness, I nearly didn't recognize you." Clara, a college friend Eleanor hadn't seen in years, beamed, her eyes sparkling, her posture ramrod straight. Clara, who looked not a day older than 50, was tanned and vibrant, holding a yoga mat under one arm. "Just back from my morning class. You should join us. It's marvellous for the lungs." Eleanor managed a weak smile, the words "marvellous for the lungs" echoing in her mind, planting an unfamiliar seed of doubt about her own convenient narrative of inevitable decline. Clara's vibrant energy pricked at Eleanor, a dull ache of inadequacy swiftly followed by a spark of indignation. Was Clara truly so different, or had Eleanor simply given up too soon? The words "marvellous for the lungs" echoed, no longer a friendly suggestion, but a challenge. That evening, instead of her usual mindless television, Eleanor found herself at her laptop, fingers hovering over the search bar. She typed, hesitantly at first, then with a growing urgency. Breathlessness, not age. Improving lung capacity, older adults. Shallow breathing fatigue. What she found wasn't a miracle cure, but a steady stream of articles, videos, and community forums that spoke to her experience. The aha moment arrived with a video from a physiotherapist explaining how breathlessness often stemmed not from a failing body, but from a forgotten body. Low daily movement, she learned, led to reduced endurance. More critically, years of unconscious, shallow chest breathing meant her diaphragm, a powerful muscle, was underused, trapping stale air and limiting oxygen exchange. Her fatigue wasn't just age. It was her body struggling to fuel itself on scraps of breath. The solution, presented with unassuming simplicity, felt almost absurd. Slow, deliberate breathing, the voice counseled, like filling a balloon in your belly, then gently releasing. Coupled with this was the advice to start small with movement. A 5-minute walk around the block, gentle stretches while waiting for the kettle to boil. Eleanor felt a familiar wave of skepticism. Could something so basic unravel years of decline? Yet, The truth of her shallow, hurried breaths was undeniable. Her first attempts were clumsy, self-conscious. Lying in bed, trying to expand her belly, she felt ridiculous, her chest still instinctively rising. The 5-minute walk felt like an expedition, her lungs burning. But she persisted, driven by that stubborn flicker Clara had ignited. A week in, she noticed her walks lasting 7 minutes, then 10. One afternoon, focusing on her breath, she felt a fleeting, unfamiliar calm settle over her. It wasn't a cure, not yet, but it was a crack in the wall of resignation, letting in a fragile tendril of cautious optimism. Months melted into a year, each sunrise bringing subtle yet profound shifts. The breathlessness that had once defined Eleanor's existence became a ghost of the past. She no longer braced herself for the flight of stairs leading to her favourite bookstore. Instead, she ascended them 2 at a time, a faint smile playing on her lips, her lungs expanding with an effortless rhythm. Her daily walks stretched from timid 10-minute excursions to invigorating hour-long treks through the park, where she'd often stop to admire the intricate patterns of sunlight filtering through the leaves, a luxury her former self couldn't afford. Her hands, once idle, now flew across knitting needles, crafting vibrant scarves for her grandchildren. The neglected garden burst into bloom under her renewed care, its colours mirroring the vibrancy returning to her own life. She rejoined her weekly painting class, her brushstrokes bolder, imbued with a newfound zest. Social gatherings, once dreaded, became opportunities for laughter and connection. She found herself engaging in spirited debates with friends, her voice clear and strong, no longer overshadowed by the fear of gasping for air. One crisp autumn afternoon, sharing tea with her friend Margaret, Eleanor recounted her journey. "It was so simple, Margaret," she mused, a warmth spreading through her chest. "Just breathing, just moving. For so long I thought my age was a sentence, that my energy was a dwindling resource. But Clara, and then just doing it, showed me that I could reclaim it. The chains were unseen, but they were there, and I broke them, with nothing more than consistent, simple habits." Margaret listened, a thoughtful expression on her face, a flicker of hope kindling in her own eyes. Eleanor now lived a life unburdened, her spirit soaring. She was 65, yes, but her heart beat with the vigour of someone half her age. The world felt open again, full of possibilities. She often thought of Clara, the young woman who had planted that first seed of change. Eleanor had not just improved her stamina, she had rediscovered herself, proving that age was merely a number, and that the rhythm of a vibrant, fulfilling life could always be reclaimed, naturally, one conscious breath and one determined step at a time. The future, once a receding horizon, now shimmered with an inviting, boundless promise.